Hi, Damien Barrett here with you on Access All Areas, brought to you by OPSM. Today, it's out Lee Matthews and in Brendan McCartney, coach of Western Bulldogs. Brendan, welcome.
Thanks, Damien. Who's interviewing who?
I'm interviewing you.
Right.
You're 10 matches into a coaching career that has got you 4 wins at this stage and some couple of really good performances in losses against good teams. Are you where you wanted to be?
That's a terrific summary, Damien. I think in my heart of hearts, maybe one more win, and we did enough right in maybe 3 games to get that. There were some games where we got beaten in too many areas to win the game. Others we could have won one, but that's the situation. That's where it's at, and we move forward.
Yeah, the wins have come against the lower ranked teams. With the remaining matches, you need to get a couple of scalps, do you think, just to feel good about yourself and your club?
Possibly. I don't, and I've said this quite often, I don't look that far ahead. We've got Port Adelaide this week, and then we have an opposition the week after, and that's as far as we can look. We've still got a lot of improvement. We've got things that we do well and some things that we want to get better, and this week we get a chance to practice again.
Yep, and with you and your club, it's not just about this year, is it? There's a big picture in play. With your internal modellings on what you're going to do at the draft and your list management, when is it you see the Bulldogs heading back up the ladder?
I think what we've shown this year is our best is very competitive, but we have patches in games where we do lose our way in too many areas to be competitive against the best teams. But with that, we also know each week we've been popping 8, 9, 10, 11, one couple of games, 12 players out with less than 30 games, which is, experience tells me that that's too young. They do get lost in their way, but at the same time we are putting hard-earned match experience into them, and we'll get the benefit from that going forward.
Sure. You've also got the benefit this year of being able to utilise a couple of your compensation picks gained for losing Callan Ward and Sam Reid. How will you use them at this stage in your thinking, and could one of them be used on a trade for a big name?
Possibly. Maybe when you say big name, lots of names spring up, but probably what I can preface it with is our number one philosophy is to draft and develop our own. So that sits clearly at the top. But part of the responsibility of being a football club is to put the best list you can together. And sometimes that means levering a pick to get the type of player you want. Unlikely that we'll be in the hunt almost certainly won't be in the hunt for a big name, but we want to be a club that does things well, and in time people may want to come and play with us, but just as importantly, they don't want to leave. Our kids that we draft and develop. The
big name that's out there at the moment, and your club has been, I suppose, used, or your club's name has been put in the same sentence as him, Travis Cloke. And when I say put in the same sentence, you don't seem to be actively seeking him, but you did ask the question of his management. Have you got a final sort of outlook on that now?
Not sure we did ask. I think it coincided with Jason McCartney, our list manager, meeting all of the managers to just build relationships. Travis won't be coming to the Bulldogs.
Sure.
He doesn't fit our price bracket. No disrespect to him, he's a phenomenal player, but that's not what we were doing.
Yeah, sure. Just seeing some footage of him here. He's got a decision to make, and it could be as soon as 2 weeks away, but maybe a bit longer too. It's already dragged out sometime. Speaking of people on your list, though, best and fairest count, if it was to be held right now, would it be the captain, Boyd, who'd be leading that?
You're right there. I think we'd have 4 or 5 people. I think Ryan Griffin's had a terrific year. Luke Dalhouse started very well, and Liam Picken plays so well for the team weekly that people like that deserve votes and generally get them, and Brian Lake's had a very good year. So I think Boydie but he'd have 4 or 5.
Sure.
Close.
Luke Dalhouse, you touched on. Incredibly, for a guy who's come off the rookie list and is in his 2nd year, he's got the ambassador role for the junior members and the Dalhouse clubhouse. Is too much being asked of someone so young, or are you pretty confident? Everyone else seems to be confident that he's equipped to deal with whatever's going his way.
Your first point is bang on. You can load young players up with too much responsibility. He's very level as a person, which is important. We've been really keen to put our young players in the media on a rotation basis, so they learn that side. It's important, so important they learn to conduct themselves with respect and represent their club well. So, from that point of view, he has been exposed, but he's handling it well. And what you see with Luke is pretty much what he is, and he does link with our fans and especially our young supporters really well.
Yep. Jared Grant's another young player at the club who seems to be struggling. Is there still a big future for him at the Bulldogs?
Yeah, there is. We as a coach, what you want is an environment where people see opportunity and they know they're being supported to help grab that opportunity, and Jared fits that. We're in the process of working with him to get bigger and stronger, to be able to handle the buffering of the game, because it's not about preparing a young player to be able to handle round 8 or round 9. Eventually you want them to be able to handle football when it's at its toughest, and it's at its toughest in big games at the end of the year when there's very few free people running around, there's a lot of contests, and you have to be able to handle yourself in that area.
What's he need to do to get back into the senior team on a regular basis?
Work on positional craft so that he can actually create opportunities for himself, be able to repeat his efforts, and be able to day by day, week by week, train and prepare like an elite AFL player. Okay. And the quicker we get the majority of our list behaving that way, the closer we'll be to being the team we want to be.
Yep. Another young player who's showed many signs, Liam Jones, was omitted a couple of weeks ago after a game where he missed a couple of goals that other people thought he should have got. Is that his biggest problem, or are there bigger things at play here for him being demoted to the VFL?
No, he actually went out when he probably shouldn't go out. We decided not to play too many talls in the rain in Sydney, knowing the weather was coming, and he actually played quite well that weekend. It had nothing to do with the goals. We loved what he brought to the game that day, and the little things will take care of themselves. He's another player working in a lot of aspects of his game, and young forwards, it's almost millimetre by millimetre, but the end result's going to be pretty good.
At the other end of the spectrum, Adam Cooney, how have you found coaching him and just all the talk around him and the talk he's given himself about his body just not allowing him to reach what could be his absolute peak? How is he, and what do you expect out of him for the remainder of his career?
It's great to coach. He's got a very quick sense of humour. He enjoys footy clubs and that life, and he's been good to coach. He's managing expectations for himself and the external expectations, and I can confidently say maybe 80% of the games this year he's played his role within the team and done what he's needed to do, and you'll probably see him more as a forward going forward, and that's some re-education, learning where to stand, where to go, because he's working within a small group that have to create space for one another.
Is that simply because the knee won't allow him to do what he once was able to do? Or?
Yes, yeah, in parts. And also having a team where Adam can play in a variety of positions, but at the same time we're also giving young players an opportunity to play in a variety of positions too. They can't all play on the ball and they can't all play on the forward line. They all need to be able to adapt.
Yep. And just yourself, how have you found it so far? Has it been different to what you thought it may be as a senior coach of an AFL club?
Not different, but the day-to-day demands I don't think you can ever be quite prepared for. But what I want to also make quite clear is I love the job. I love coming to work every day at our club. I love our club and the players I work with. Some days you just actually have to shut the door and walk out, and I think I've learnt there's only so much you can do in a day or in a week. It'll be what it'll be, and if I try and do more, I'll either run myself into the ground or drive people around me mad. So been fantastic, and I think we've got a lot of improvement to come.
Sure. Thanks for joining us today on Access All Areas.
Thanks, Damien. Thanks for having me.
Brendan McCartney, Western Bulldogs coach there, and we do appreciate him joining us. Before we go, let's quickly give you the result of our OPSM poll. Should Josh Hunt have been suspended for standing on Eddie Betts' hand? And remember, he was fined, not suspended. An overwhelming 80% said yes, 20% said no. Thanks for watching today, Access All Areas with Brendan McCartney. I'll be back after the weekend on Monday for the Monday edition of Access All Areas. Until then, goodbye, enjoy the weekend.